Hey Brian, can you hear us?
Hey, yeah, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, man. We're supposed to be journalists, and I'm
Oh, no.
late, bro.
Now listen, I'm even later. I was hustling so hard to make
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Even though you telling me 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, I'm just like, great, I have all this other shit I can do. And then I couldn't do anything.
yeah.
So
I know. I tried to
feel you, I
prioritize my
feel you.
morning walk, and I only got like 30 minutes in. I had to bail and drive to his house. The power of the
Nice.
internet. But
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
Brian, for coming on the Left Brain, Right Brain podcast.
yeah, my pleasure.
I found out about your work through him, actually. He's been an awesome plug, and ever since he
Nice.
showed me the
Nice.
gallery, I've been absolutely hooked. And I knew I had to get you on the podcast. Uh,
Oh, great.
Firstly, I wanted to ask you if you've always lived in Chicago.
Oh, no, no. So I actually grew up in the Southwest, in the state of New Mexico. So
Wow.
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My family was originally from Chicago. So I ended up going back after attending the university in Albuquerque, and then came to Chicago when I was in my very early 20s. Yeah.
Right. And your fascination with, I guess you could, I mean, surreal is one way to call what I see in the gallery. There's actually so much to it, and we'll unpack it in the 45 we've got. But were you always
Sure.
fascinated in art that looks like what you exhibit now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, growing up as a kid, I was always interested in monsters. My dad was a big movie fan and introduced me to all the coolest stuff. So like Big Trouble in Little China was real early in my life. That sort of defined my pattern of what I wanted my goals movie wise to be. And then eventually I ended up, when I moved to Chicago a few years after moving, I ended up opening up my own video store. So, movies have always been I mean, weird movies have just always been a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And, weird art too. Sure, they go hand in hand, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I feel like I was born into it. That's for sure.
There is something to be said for weird, non-symmetrical, I guess what's the word for when something's like sort of human but not human?
Uncanny?
Uncanny Valley. Like all of these paintings are
Yeah.
so Uncanny Valley, like each and every one of them, but they're done in a way that is quite professional. And I think that's what I've never seen before. I've seen your gallery, like I've never seen art that's so imperfect but work as a whole package.
Right.
Like
Oh,
these.
well, thanks for saying that. Sure. That's a really kind way to put it too. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure how other people have put it, but it's incredible. I I'm very curious. Where did the name Deadly Prey actually come from?
Oh, sure. So the name Deadly Prey. This is a fun story, actually.
Oh, you've got a
Um,
cat. We had a cat on the program recently,
oh
actually.
boy, no, yeah, we got a couple. They'll probably be walking around here. Oh my God,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
they're
that's
really
nothing new here.
when anything interesting is going on, they have to be a huge part of that, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah. So Deadly Prey is a movie. It's sort of a Rambo ripoff film, or like maybe Rambo meets the Most Dangerous Game. And that's from 1987, and it's this low budget action movie that really just goes the extra mile. It's just batshit crazy. It is so much
Really?
fun. And I mean, it's like Rambo on steroids, and like super low budget, all that stuff, but they go such a long way
Yeah.
with that budget. I always liked the movie. It's kind of a rare movie in the US, so VHS collectors were very into it. And that was sort of where it stood, like it was a real niche movie in the US. However, in Ghana, this movie is like just like any other revered, like just like any other action movie, like The
Wow.
Terminator,
That's awesome.
Matrix, or Commando, or anything like that. This is on the same level in Ghana, which I found to be fascinating. When I first started getting into the posters, I realized that there were a lot of posters. This is before my partner Kofi in Accra and I had come up with the name Deadly Prey. I noticed there were just a lot of old Deadly Prey posters. And I was like, wow, that's so weird. So I asked him about that. And I said, what's up with Deadly Prey? And he's like, oh, we love Deadly Prey here. I'm like, damn. I was like, nobody knows about Deadly Prey except for a few people that come into my video store. So like that's crazy. So we both kind of thought like, I suggested, hey, what do you think of the name Deadly Prey for our project? And he said, well, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm on. So
Wow.
that's how it came about. And I just thought it sounded like tough as nails. So
It's a
that's
great
the
name, and it's really badass. And I mean, the thing is, like, the fact that you already knew about it, right? Like, it was already something you knew about that was niche, and then you went over there, and then they all fucking love it. That's great.
It's crazy. It's renowned over there, and I just found it to be absolutely fascinating and right on par with the, with just the aesthetic and the creativity of and I don't know, like the open-mindedness of the people there, how like
Yeah.
they're so open to this weird ass B movie that's going on in the US that they get bootleg copies of, and they just elevated it to this other standard that the US really never gave it a chance, I guess, or just never had the exposure that they did because of this like bootleg cinema that was going on over there. So yeah, I just found all that to be completely fascinating.
Yeah, cool.
That's I had a question actually. It's so funny because because the one poster that actually like got my attention, that I how I found out about this, I
Yeah.
did a trivia once, and they showed like these posters, and they showed the Ghost Dog one, and they were like try to guess the movie. And I'm just curious because it's like I find the Ghost Dog poster so funny because there's like actual like ghost dogs in it. When there's
Yeah.
like in the movie, there's like no actual when they're like doing the paintings, is it like they know like they've seen the movie or like they've read a synopsis, or is it more so like they're just doing their like absurdist like take on like this film?
Mm.
Sure. I think the answer to that is, I mean, yes and no.
Yeah,
Some of the movies they are quite familiar with, and they're just gonna paint them from memory, and
yeah, yeah,
like have that base sketch down, and then just add some wild stuff around it to
yeah,
make it, to make it the way that we're used to, and like what the genre kind of is. But then, oftentimes they have no idea what the movie is, and that's probably more often than not. They don't know what the
yeah.
That's
movie is.
amazing. That's amazing. And that is such a huge contrast
Yeah.
to any graphic, like, I guess a graphic designer has to know, right? What the plot is, what the
Right.
go is. But to be able to just do
Right.
that, wow.
Yeah. I always find it most interesting. I mean, for commissions, which is really what we do nowadays, and that's how we do everything nowadays as a commission. Just because the video clubs that once existed in Ghana, who were commissioning the posters back in the day for screenings, don't exist anymore.
Wow.
So now all the commissions come from customers abroad mostly. What was my point here? Oh yeah. So normally they are just relying on a couple photographs and a brief synopsis, or basically whatever the customer asks for.
Yeah.
So in the case of Ghost Dog, the customer who commissioned that left it pretty wide open,
Yeah.
and gave a few photos of everything, and then actually had the suggestion, like it was like the question, "What about a ghost dog?"
Sure,
But
why
okay.
not?
So,
That's awesome.
so I mean, I did relay that to the artist. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm partially responsible. I'm not going to say I'm responsible, but I'm a little responsible for it.
Yeah.
Obviously,
awesome.
they put the exceptional twist on it, the laser eyes, and like all of that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're so good. Yeah, that's how Ghost Dog came about. Pretty out of sheer love, I suppose.
So going back to kind of how it started, so you went over there in your 20s or when you were a teen?
No, what actually happened is I caught on to these much later or not much later in life, but I was probably I'm 45 now, and we've been doing this about 13 years now. So yeah, it was about 32. Somebody brought in a book about these posters, and they were mostly the older posters, and the book is called Ganavision. They brought it into my video store because at my video store was just like head to toe movie posters, like foreign movie posters, American movie posters. just all types of movie related artwork. So he just thought I'd be interested in that. And of course I was. And I ended up researching the hell out of it and figuring out what the deal is and figuring out how they exist, why they exist, all that type of thing. And I found a guy that was on the latter pages of a Google search in Ghana who actually had some of these posters up in his store. So I contacted him. He got back to me right away, and we started talking. That's my partner, Kofi, who now we've been in business, 13 years. But back then, yeah, it was just a shot in the dark. And he was so kind. We ended up talking quite a bit, and he was so kind that he just sent me over a couple posters, said, don't worry about it, see if you like them, and then maybe we can, figure something out. I told him that I had a big space to display them in and that I thought my customers might be interested. So that's sort of how that seed was planted. And we started this conversation that, quickly turned into a small business, which then turned into involving multiple artists that he knew in Ghana since he had worked in the Ghanaian mobile cinema as a kid. So he knew all of the artists still, and he had a small art space in Accra as well. So he was in conversation with everybody over there. So really, that's my in. And that's how we really came into business. Started offering the commission, started making the prints, all that. I ended up visiting Ghana, I guess, a couple of years after we ended up talking, and we had been talking for years before I actually met him in person and met the artist in person. So that, of course, was a huge, huge thing in my life, right? And now, I mean, this relationship I feel is pretty strong, having it been this many years. He's my best friend, all of that. So it really came out of the blue, I don't know. I like to think eventually I would have found out about these, but I mean, my friend bringing in that book and spurring me on, and and me just crazy. I don't know. It all happened for a reason. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does traditional, I guess, how do you pronounce it? Like Ghanaian arts? Would that be the right way to say it?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty good. Ghanaian is what I say. Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does traditional Ghanaian art differ from what these guys have been doing?
Sure. So I think there's probably two schools of art in Ghana. I would say that a lot of it is a bit not quite as wild and crazy as the posters that you see, but definitely on the on a very interesting level of creativity and surreality. So I think that this sort of art basically started with barbershop paintings and sign paintings. And this is sort of a weird evolution from sign paintings in Ghana. The sign paintings were always a little bit interesting. Like you look at their haircut signs or these barbershop and salon signs, there's always some weird stuff going on and always some surreal, like floating scissors, floating razor. The faces are a little bit off. The haircuts look funky. It's not like a haircut like that wouldn't be in normal life. Similarly, like the pharmacy signs have all the craziest shit on them. Oh my gosh. They'll have measles, diarrhea, gonorrhea, dysentery, and photos of all of these things. I wish I had some in my studio. I have some at my other place. I don't have any in my spot right now to show you, but I feel like these posters were definitely an evolution of what was already going on in Ghana to a degree, but that's mostly in, I'd say, commercial art and in illustration art, not necessarily fine art. Fine art was always a bit of a separate thing, I think. A more beautiful thing, like animals and like landscapes and the kind of things that you would expect in more fine art, I suppose. Still lifes, that kind of stuff. So that exists in Ghana as well. And there's that same sort of beautiful art. And I think that what we see here is a real mix of incorporating some of that beauty, but also incorporating that surreal nature that was in their sign paintings, and then just it going off on steroids a little bit.
Yeah,
so
yeah. It's very I love the literal nature of it. A pharmacy, of course you would put diarrhea on that. Of course you'd illustrate that. Why not? That's what you're going there for.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Talking Heads one actually right now on my screen, and it's just making me laugh. It really. Oh, you got it! Oh, shit! Yeah, what a coincidence.
I mean, I wear it it's mostly most of my shirts are this shirt.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's such an incredible shirt because obviously, I mean, demons and ghosts and undead stuff have nothing to do with talking heads. But if this
Right.
was a Halloween special, that's what it would have
Right.
looked like.
Yep, for real. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm very curious, like, so the one that really got me was the Batman, and I don't know which one. I think it's Batman Forever, where
Okay.
he's just like, I'm trying to find it. He like he's shooting or impaling one of the two, like Mr. Freeze. Like he's just like, and there's
Yeah.
blood everywhere. I'm really curious, where does this like
Oh, that one.
aggression? Oh, it's here. Yeah, where does this like violence and aggression sort of come in?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think there's a couple reasons, but I think that the main reason is just out of business logic, really. So to make, historically, if you had two competing cinemas in one area, um, and the people that the cinema goers don't necessarily know what the movie is. Say it's two American movies being shown, and they don't know a whole lot about the plot. They're gonna go see the movie with the crazier poster.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's really what it comes down to, is for advertising purposes, and for like it doesn't matter if it's in it or not. Whatever you have, I mean, you've already got their money once they've looked at the poster and been like, I want to see that one. And it might not matter what's in it or whatever, they already have you at that point. So I feel like it definitely came out of a necessity in advertising to make the posters be as wild as possible. And it just sort of caught on like wildfire. You know what I mean? I don't want to say wildfire because of LA.
Oh yeah,
This
we've been having to censor a bunch of shit that we've been.
man. But it really caught on over there, right, people just started going to the movie naturally that had the crazier poster, unless you were somebody that just doesn't want to see anything crazy, which is a lower percentage of
Yeah.
moviegoers. I'm telling you. So really, yeah, the crazier the poster, the more ticket sales. Yeah,
It's incredible because it's not just posters that you would expect. Like a lot of them aren't just big blockbuster hits. You've got
yeah,
everything. It's really
yeah.
interesting. Like what you've got like kids movies that are turned into that, and it's really interesting seeing the way that this is depicted. Because I've spoken to a lot of more like I guess violent like the comic artists who depict violence on the regular, and somehow that's a lot more shocking when they do it with 2D, more flat kind of stuff than this stuff. This is like really it's really normalizing like just the act of aggression because they're so chill. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's
Like they're
Oh
really
yeah, yeah.
laid back.
Right. Oh yeah, there's like some nonchalant shooting and
That's
impaling
it.
happening.
I think that's the
Yeah.
right word for it. Like looking at the Sopranos one, he's just chilling there. There's like a horse there. Why not? Then there's like the Aqua Team Hunger
it's just
Force dude. Why not? Like he could be in the Sopranos.
I mean,
That's
there's a
like,
New Jersey connection.
yeah, for sure. That's wild. So,
the Oppenheimer.
Yeah, these are so good, and I'm curious. You've kind of been displaying these in Chicago. Has it
Sure.
caught on with any sort of more avant-garde filmmakers who have actually then used or commissioned an actual poster for their movie in America?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, there's definitely been a few. Yeah, there's been several different independent filmmakers. I mean, I guess in particular, I'd mention Darren Aronofsky
For which
uh,
movie?
Oh,
uh, for every one of his movies. So
Really?
really?
we've made a poster for every Darren Aronofsky movie. If you look on the site right
What?
now, you'll find Mother, you'll find Requiem for a Dream, you'll find Why. I think that might be all of them. There might
The
be
American release?
what's that? Oh no, sorry. He's just done these commissions for himself.
Wow.
Not
Okay. I actually for a
not
second I was like,
sorry.
is every Darren
I
Aronofsky
get what you
poster I've
mean.
ever seen?
I understand what you mean. No, he actually did commission a poster for all of his films, but as far as where the actual cover art and so on is a movie poster that we made, yes, but they're more independent features. There hasn't been any like crazy Hollywood big features that have done it yet. I think that I don't know. Like they should be doing that. I
I can
think.
see it happening, especially
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like a look. I could see a poster for example, Enora that just came out. I could see an Enora poster
Yeah,
in
oh,
that style,
absolutely.
Sean
Uh,
Baker kind of style. You're
Yeah.
the guy that you really love, the Chilean.
Sebastian Silva.
Sebastian
Yeah,
Silva
yeah,
movie or
yeah,
something
Uh,
with these. Like it would translate so
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I
Um,
I completely agree, and like you know, like some DVD labels have put them out for their like their throwback releases, that kind of stuff. That's common, that's been happening quite a bit. So yeah, yeah,
and so are these guys painting these on flour sacks? Is that what
correct,
they're?
exactly, yeah. So it's on the opposite side of a used flour sack. So one side will have the lettering, and the other side will be clean. So yeah, so for that reason, some of the much older posters are just covered in flour, and they've actually painted over the flour because sometimes they're not cleaned great. A lot of the older posters I run into just look crazy over the years because of like, but yeah, they are. But I mean, nowadays the flour sacks are, cleaned out to a huge degree because so many people are wanting these now as like an archival thing forever. And these were never meant to be particularly archival, but they really do kind of stand the test of time if they're cared for correctly. So yeah, yeah, the flour sack I mean, it's a really, really great piece of material, and used for so many things in Ghana. It's a really utilitarian piece of equipment in Ghana, to be honest. It's a
So
recycled.
are they painting with acrylic or oil on the flour sacks?
So it's a mix actually. It's mostly going to be a mix of oil and enamel. Um, and but I mean, acrylic is used also. Yeah, I mean, it's a mix. You could tell in each. You could definitely tell in each painting. You could tell which ones have got like a little coat over them to so the paint doesn't chip. All of that. There's certain ones where the paint is chipping like crazy, and I don't know. It's all kind of in the aesthetic.
Yeah,
It's really
wow.
all over the place, and it depends. It depends, what the artist, how much time the artist had, or what they wanted to do with it. That kind of thing.
And the process of commissioning, oh, not commissioning, of photographing and documenting these sacks, how exactly do you get a good shot of it so that later you can blow it out? Like, what's the process for capturing?
Sure, sure. So I do that all with our photographer in LA, who makes our large archival prints as well. So I try and get pretty much, I'd say 90% of all the commissions, I try and get them photographed, unless I know that for whatever reason an iPhone photograph is fine and I'm not going to be making prints or putting them in a book or something, no big deal. But just about everything else, I mean, I'm avid about archiving them. And yeah, I mean, my photographer, I get a pretty good deal. It's around like 40 to $50 for a great high res that we can use forever. And then they have them over there, and we make these great archival prints with them too. So, yeah, it's a great relationship we have with them. They're called Static Medium, and they're like a photo and print company out of LA who've just been incredibly helpful to us.
Yeah, shout out to them. That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome. I'm also looking at the we're just going on like a safari tour basically at this point, like going through them.
that's
And the
great.
deeper we go, it's really interesting looking at the one for Blues Brothers, which doesn't have the S, so it's Blue Brother, and then
Blue brother.
the Holy
Yeah.
Mountain is the Holy Mountain. It is fascinating. Both Aaron and I, we're both we speak Spanish, and so I noticed that. I don't know if you noticed that with your like family, that sometimes certain words in when the translation happens, some things
Yeah,
get
it's
lost
like
in the translation. There's
Sure.
a there's probably a really interesting thing happening with the English language as it goes to Ghana, and how that then dictates the process as well. Because something called the Holy Mountain is very
Sure.
different to something called the Holy Mountain. If you haven't seen the movie, you're
Sure.
going to be drawing a completely different thing. And I haven't seen all of the Holy Mountain, so I can't confirm whether or not that
no,
shit
this
happened.
is a
This
it's weirdly enough like
accurate, yeah,
like
It's pretty
that the
literal.
Holy
Yeah.
Mountain.
Yeah.
This is a very accurate style of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
depict.
Honestly,
And
that
I mean,
movie's
there's
wild.
plenty of mountings in the Holy Mountain, really. So, yeah.
In terms of the movies that you really like, what are some of your favorite movies?
Sure. I mean, so I like, I'm very stuck in 70s and 80s film, I would say. It's my period of film I grew up in, and it's the stuff I watched as a kid. 90s film to a lesser extent, but also to a large extent. I mean, my favorite film is probably Manhunter by Michael Mann. I freaking love that movie. I love, I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan. You could probably tell by the 800 versions of Twin Peaks we've made. Rest in peace, David
You
Lynch.
can tell he's a fan for the tears in his eyes. This guy's been
Yeah, I
sad all
know.
day, man.
I,
I've been
I
sad
know.
too. Like,
I'm telling you, what a loss. And I love all the surreal films of the 70s. Like Fantastic Planet is a huge movie for me. All of the Jodorowsky movies are mind blowing and some of my favorite films. Yeah, I mean, I'm really stuck in that kind of experimental stuff too that was going on then. I just love all weird movies. So, oh man. And I love some of those Australian movies too from the 70s and 80s.
oh yeah,
Exploitation, yeah.
which ones? Any
Oh,
ones
sure,
in
that
particular?
exploitation is unreal. Let's see, like what's a couple here? I just smoked too much, so I have to think about this stuff.
Well, I mean,
um,
Aussie movies, obviously, starting from like a basic standpoint, Mad Max 1 and 2, right? Like those are like
sure, sure.
the big ones. There's also what are the other ones?
I mean, I don't know if this is exploitation, but Wake and Fright
That is
from
that is
that's
so
like, but it's more
exploitation.
new. It's more new, like wave, like a
Yeah.
Or something like the hunting party, or like I don't know, like there's like all types of these like I don't know, like these weird movies from that time that
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
yeah, some of the, and these might be a little more artsy, but those Peter Weir movies I really
oh
love.
yeah.
And
Like
I
what?
also kind of
No, not
grew up on those and considered those so big. Yeah, so I guess that's more or less, I don't know, like anything that was weird, I dug for
There
sure.
is something about exploitation that would work really well in this style too. I'm not sure if you guys have done Aussie movie posters before. Um,
Only, I mean, honestly, only the Mel Gibson ones, So
wow,
yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
great to see
Oh,
it. Like, yeah,
we did A Boy and His Dog. That was a good one we just
the boy
made.
and his dog.
the boy.
The Don Johnson movie.
Oh,
I've never heard of
yeah,
that.
I've never heard of it too.
Ah, okay. It's like 1969,
Yeah,
1970. Anyway, we
right.
just made that one, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
really weird. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exploitation is something that comes up a lot on the show. Like,
I
with
I would
me.
imagine. I would imagine. I wasn't going to mention it, but then I'm like, all right.
No. I mean, especially because like I guess I've been here for 24 years, right? I'm 28,
Uh,
so I have. I guess an immigrant's perspective of Australia is very, very different, and
sure.
exploitation is a surreal, but actually kind of accurate and also very inaccurate, response to
Yeah.
Yeah.
what we see here. It is definitely interesting to see more posters. If we saw posters of yours in this style, I think people would be very scared to come to Australia more than they already are. Um,
Hey,
a lot
hey,
of
I want
people,
to come.
you should come. We'll show you
I
around.
know, I know. I'd love to. I'd love to have a show. I'd love to have a show out there. I had a show. I had a show out in Sydney, but I didn't get a chance to fly out there. It was right around COVID hit, and I was on my way, and then and then it got shut down. So yeah, I I'm popping out there though.
I was curious in terms of the artists that you work with. What's their art background? Are they from art school backgrounds or self-taught?
Sure. So everyone is self-taught in the way that they actually so it's tradition to apprentice under a master artist in Ghana. So when when you don't have like that higher, like going to university for art, that didn't really happen with these guys. But what did happen is they trained under masters in the Ghanaian movie world.
Like a
So
sensei.
oh no, definitely like that.
Wow.
So like in Ghana, you can't just become a movie poster artist. You have to train under a master in as a
Wow.
movie poster artist.
What?
Or
That's
else
so
guess what?
cool.
You are gonna get ran right out. If you just start making movie posters, you're not gonna last long.
Really? In
Um,
in in what sense? In like a gang style where like
I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm not gonna say like they're gonna threaten you, but like you're not
wow.
gonna be able to you're not going to be able to sell your work,
Okay, so
like
there's a certain
yeah.
level of like grit that's real from these posters, you know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely.
Credibility.
Yes. So like the artist Heavy J, who's probably now on our crew, Leonardo used to be the veteran artist. He passed away 2 years ago. So Heavy J is probably the veteran artist now. He's only a little bit older than me, but he's been painting these posters since he was a teenager. So he's actually had numerous apprentices under him, some of which work for us now, or work with Deadly Prey now. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a lineage that has to be kept. And yeah, I mean when Kofi explained that all to me, I found that to be so interesting. And
Yeah.
so and well, very much like it used to be in the tattoo world, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's actually quite similar to what we've spoken about with the graffiti world.
Yeah.
We've
oh,
had
there
people
you go.
we've
There
had
you
people
go.
talk about stories where like, and we won't mention the names of these persons, but I'll probably just say that the general gist of it is like you might go over somebody's work and they've
Yeah,
had that person basically stalk them and like interrupt, like dinner situations and like bar nights that they've had because they're like, you went over my artwork, now you're gonna
it's
pay.
serious. It's serious. Yeah,
The violence
yeah.
of art, right? Like
I
street
was
credibility.
I was gonna say
Uh,
it now that like that mentorship kind of like approach, it makes so much sense now because there's such a consistency within the art, and like the style
sure.
has been now like I don't know, like you can see like you've been saying like some of the posters like have been made 30 years ago, and even like there's still like you can still see it, and like it's still
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
the same. It's the
consistent.
same
So I
style.
guess it works like in like that kind of in that vein of like yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's more than just a wildness, I think, or more than just like an unhinged approach. I think that there is a certain look to it that goes between the artist. Even the artist is drastically different. You could tell in a second if you had a bunch of these lined up, you could tell, oh yeah, these are all probably from the same country.
Yeah,
You know?
easily. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell, like, if they've, like, does each artist have their own signature style that is like, that if you're like, that guy likes to draw demons more, that guy draws heads a certain way. Is that a very, like, the more time you spend over there, is that something that you can kind of pick up?
D- Without a doubt. I mean, and you have to remember too, I'm looking at these posters probably half of my day every single day.
Yeah.
Uh, so in a second, I mean, I can look at the bottom corner 5 inches of a poster and know who made it. Like
Wow.
it's pretty crazy at this point. But yeah, I mean, like, this artist Salvation has like very much like a sharp hand graffiti type of style. Like all of his lettering, you could tell, and just the way he goes about it. The other thing is like there's a 90% chance that there's going to be vampires in his paintings. You know, I found that to be really, really great. And there's a certain type of like flying demon that the artist Stoger makes.
Yeah, I
Which is
keep seeing those demons, and I was wondering
yeah,
if it was a part of like
it's
Ghanaian
right,
folklore or
right.
something. Like,
Right. Oh yeah, I remember like in a show we had in Atlanta recently, I had an Outsiders painting next to a Barbie painting, and they were both by Stoger, and they had two demons staring at each other because I had them right next to each other, and they had the same demon in both posters. And I was like, oh,
I think
nice.
it's so incredible that like looking at all of this and all the culture and all like the rules and the frameworks and everything you're talking about, like the pop culture
Yeah,
is king there, you know? Like,
for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's honestly been that way since the '80s. Oh, buddy. Okay. I have all these boxes on this table and my cat's in. I don't know why I stacked up these boxes before.
nah, cats can be hard. I interviewed a smoking cat the other day, and it was very hard to get information out of it.
Nice. It's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it is wild. I've never really seen anything like this before. I think maybe in my dreams or maybe in Argentina, in some markets, there would be things that have similar elements of surrealism as this. Like there's lots of elements of outsider art in this. I think back of like artists like and I don't know who did the Fleetwood Mac Mystery to Me cover, but
Ah,
I see that
yeah.
as well. Even though I looked at it, it looks nothing like these artists. There's an element of like proportions and stuff like that. That's just like because I think the thing
Yeah.
about making like a human face or something with real proportions that have references, like when you don't do it the way it's supposed to look, it's obviously going to look wild. But then when you commit to it so hard, like these artists are committing to it with realism, So suddenly
Yeah.
you go into a whole
Mm.
new universe of something that has
Sure.
never really existed, maybe only in dreams, actually.
Yes.
There's a very like
Sure.
dreamlike
Hey,
quality to this.
oh man, I'm right with you on that. That's a great way to describe it because I feel that way every time my partner sends me the work that's been. I mean, it's like Christmas. So, I'm looking at these works and I'm like, how did he do that one this time?
Yeah,
I'm just blown away every single time. And whenever I talk to the artists, I'm constantly telling them this, and their response to me is like, oh yeah, thanks. Like it's just so normal.
it's
Like it's
great
just
that
so like
they're
how it
able to
goes.
explore like all the
Yeah.
aspects of their own like inner, I don't know, inner turmoil or things that they want to get off their chest or just ideas that they want to explore, and they're able to get commissioned to do that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
in no other place would somebody say, okay, make a poster for Metropolis, and then you fucking throw in Nosferatu.
Right. Oh man.
And then you
Yeah, no,
chuck in The Exorcist, like just because why not? In fact, I want to see that movie. They should make
yeah,
movies based out of what these posters look like. I don't know if there's ever
no.
been a movie that looks like this.
I'm telling you, we need to flip that script. That's
For
it.
real.
That's what he
Um,
said. Yeah.
well, you're talking to the right guys. That's wild. And so, have they ever ventured out into, I guess, like like album covers and stuff like that too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they have. Let's see. So we've done some, we did some work. You'll find it on the Instagram. I posted it recently, actually. We did like an alternative cover for Kendrick Lamar recently.
Did you?
Yeah, it's up on some site. It's not like on his record or anything like that, but it's just some
Wow.
alternatives they commissioned. Obviously the Talking Heads, their re-release from A24 of Stop Making Sense used our artwork. I'm trying to think of some other ones. We did some stuff for Vic Mensa and Chance the Rapper.
That's pretty sick.
It's like
That's pretty sick.
just
That
some,
actually checks out so much. I know like K Tronada and there's a few of those rappers who this style just works so well because there is
yeah.
a style.
That's
Oh
hilarious. They
wow,
miss them around the big
that's incredible.
steppers.
There is a style of, I guess, like gangster rap covers, but it wasn't done with painting, but it was kind of painterly, and I can't remember. It's like a specific
Sure,
era of rap. I think you know what I'm talking
I mean,
about.
there's
sure,
the Snoop
sure.
Dogg album, Doggy Style, and it's like painted in that exact same way. Like it's
There's
like an absurdist like
There's
graffiti.
that, but I'm more speaking like when you'd see like two giant dudes in a city and there's just cash everywhere. Like fucking all the like Florida rappers. Oh God, I
Like
can't
the
remember.
Miami shit, like
Yeah,
the
like
yeah.
I can't remember his name, but basically yeah, my mind's blanked. Oh no, 3 6 Mafia. Yeah. So
Oh,
that
Sure.
okay.
kind of stuff has a similar vibe to this. It would be so cool to see
Yeah, I could see
that
that.
crossover. I mean, I might even commission you. I'm in a band here in Australia, and we kind of do like Ozploitation-y punk, Western rock and stuff like that. This style is like so on the money. We try to paint our covers too, but it's very like I'm a beginner painter. I don't have a master. Actually, I've never had a mentor, and it's one of my
You
biggest
never had,
critiques.
yeah, you've never had to apprentice under a master. Yeah.
No, although my keyboard player Sophie's kind of like my mentor, but I'd love to have like a proper guy, like a
Mm.
Jedi style dude that tells me.
Teaching you.
How long does that process last? Sorry, I didn't ask the
Yeah,
mentorship. How long does
sure.
it take?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The commissions could take anywhere from like 2 months to a year. There's a big variance between the artists, like the C.A. Wisely who did the Godfather painting, that it's just super detailed. He also did Groundhog Day. Some of like the more super, super detailed things. He'll spend so long on each painting. So when the queue gets kind of big, he could be up to 10 months to a year. While some of the other guys like Farkira and Magasco, they could be a bit faster. You could probably get a turnaround time of 2 to 3 months. Because there's always a certain number in queue, and I think like once they're working on it, they could probably complete a painting in about a week or two. While somebody like Wisely, it might take a month. Who knows? Just because it's so
So these
detailed.
guys are working on multiple paintings at the same time, obviously.
Yes, yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. We do our best to keep everybody super busy. When they're not busy with our work, they're definitely making their own work. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's incredible. Well, yeah, thank you for chatting with us, Brian. The
Well, my
last thing
pleasure.
I want to ask you is just which one's your favorite?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Ooh. I mean, I'm probably gonna say Mrs. Doubtfire. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's probably the one that like more or less put us on the map, I guess. That was like our first kind of like viral sensation or whatever, where
Yeah.
people were like, what the hell is going on there? Why is Mrs. Doubtfire sticking the broom through the eye? You know, that kind of thing. And who's that guy on the bottom? Is it Robin Williams? Is it Ben Gazzara? Who is it? What's going on? So I feel like that, I mean, that could be tops for me. I love the painting of the Godfather too that I just mentioned. I love the Groundhog Day painting. I love every single Twin Peaks painting we've ever made. Uh, it's so hard to pick just one, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to say Mrs. Doubtfire for number one.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Brian, for taking the time. And yeah, good luck with the rest of your day.
Ah, yeah, thanks so much. Y'all too. Yeah, I appreciate you spending the time with me here.
Awesome. We'll
Awesome.
catch you around, man.
All right, cheers. Thank you.